Good morning, everyone. So it's a holiday here in Japan. I wish I could tell you which one. I don't know, there's always so many holidays. But I was on my way home and I decided, you know what? I have nowhere to be today. And I'm going to have my head buried in books later. So I'm going to go do a little exploring. This road trip, it's not far from my house, but I found, like, I feel like one of those children's fantasy books where you walk into a wooded shroud and you end up in a magical area, and that's exactly what this feels like. Which really does get me thinking, I need to get an action cam. I definitely need to get a GoPro or an Insta360 or something. Something cool like that. Because my original plan was to have the phone mount, but that did not work. The only thing that's good for is being a GPS for when I need to find somewhere on road. So that's fine for that, I guess. But I like recording with my phone. But there's just something neat about using an action cam. So all through this area, there's rice fields, and just all the roads look just like this. Which is what I really want to show, but that's the problem, is I don't have means of recording that at this time. My other cameras, my full frame mirrorless, are far too big to mount on a motorcycle, or even in a car, really. Not that I have a car anymore. It's one of those days where the sun's just like right where you don't want it to be. Yoku o something ni shita shaimashita. Let's see here. That could mean something like Tadayama Terra. So I'm not familiar with this one, but that's Yama for mountain, and that means Terra for Buddhist Temple. And that's Ototo Ni. That one's, I don't know. I don't know the third one there. By itself, that means horse. And the other one by itself means life. But together, I have no idea. That's kudama for car. And then place. Sha. So. Kanjis are funny because you can know individually what they mean. But together, so there's two types of kanji. There's kunyomi and onyomi. And they can look the same but have completely different meanings depending on if they're read by themselves or read with others. Then there's some that kind of follow both rules. Oh, beautiful. B-E-A. Beautiful. Yeah, I had my video yesterday. But I really haven't explored very many temples. I usually go to the shrines, which are Shinto. Well, Shinto Buddhist. Primarily Shinto. That's kind of the funny thing about Buddhism in Japan. It's been here for over 1,000 years. And it still feels like little brother compared to Shinto. Oh, wow. The red crane, hidden tiger, crouching dragon, masters of kung fu. The purity water buckets. Just like yesterday, I feel like these are the only places you really find proper cemeteries. Always so lovely. It's funny because, like, in the U.S., cemeteries are always just kind of sad and depressing. And I think that's mostly because they're not really kept up. English is weird. But like here, you can tell someone comes and they polish the limestone or marble or whatever material this is made from. So this is actually a really good representation here. So there's a old joke I heard, but it really does make sense, that a man goes to the cemetery and he brings flowers for his recently departed family member, and he sits there and he's talking to the tombstone, and all of a sudden Oriental man comes up and he brings a steaming bowl of rice, and he sets it down on the tomb across from the other man, and he puts the chopsticks in the center, which is a Buddhist tradition. That's why you don't put chopsticks straight up in your rice, because it has to do with Buddhism. There's a lot of things about Buddhist death rituals, but back to the story. And the man looks over to the Oriental man and he says to him, "Why are you leaving food for your dearly departed?" And the man turns and says to him, "They may not be able to eat it, but food is a more thoughtful gift than flowers. I don't see your ancestors coming to smell the flowers." I don't know. I'm sure I'm butchering the joke. I'm butchering it. But the point is, flowers are food, drinks or otherwise. It doesn't really matter what you bring. I think it's more just the thought. Like, this loved one's not drinking this dry acai. That is not a personal favorite of mine. I think I had it once and it was okay. Wow, some of these flowers are really pretty. But yeah, when I look at cemeteries in the States, either they're incredibly old and they're just crumbled from sun. Like the one in Virginia City, that cemetery is just, awful. All the tombs are worn down, cracks in them, weeds everywhere. Not to mention when one night I came out there around like 1 or 2 in the morning, and I saw like wisp hanging over the children's tombs. See, this one has sake and flowers. They are nice family members. Let's see here. West Tomorrow House. South Beach Place. Something. Yeah, some kanji don't change their meaning ever, and those are nice kanji. I love those kanji. But then some change depending on context. So like a good example is if you look at the kanji for west, if you combine west with capital, it makes Tokyo. So like this one, the top one's Nagai, which is long. I don't know the second one. The third one's river. Then the fourth one is house. And then the fifth one is the hiragana for maybe. I don't know. Now that I'm looking at it more, it looks different. And then I don't know the bottom one. This guy gets a lot of beer. Oh, so we got a family here. These two are the same. Pretty flowers. Oh, wow. When I was up in Mount Takao City, there was a place that made all these headstones. it was pretty neat. Mount Takao City was neat, but like that was a good example of me going somewhere I have no idea where I'm going, as well as it was my first weekend out of quarantine, so I didn't care where I was going. I wanted to go to Mount Takao, but then ended up going to Mount Takao City, which is two very different places. I don't know. I was not happy on that trip. So I didn't know how to get around, nor did I know the difference between anything. But when you spend 2 weeks locked up in quarantine before you can ever experience anything like exciting about the new country you're living in, I hate this pandemic. Oh wow, hold on. This one's neat. I like the color. But anywho, I'm gonna wrap this one up. And I will talk to you guys again soon.